All right,
Okay, cool.
and you're on.
All right, there you go. So, and that was a heck of a deal with the Buicks, the 10,000 miles in 5,000 minutes. What was your job?
My job was to work that forklift and spot the drivers. So when it was time for fueling, we get the fuel car ready to hook up with the race car that was already out there. And I used to hop a ride in the back, grabbing a hold of the roll bars and tell the drivers when to take off to where we could meet up in turns number 3 to where we could hook up and refuel the other car. And didn't have no seat belts. I didn't wear a helmet. I just held on to the roll bars and give it hell, baby. Fireball Roberts and myself and Marvin Pants had the fastest refueling run recorded. We refueled the car at 128 miles an hour.
Holy cow.
That was the fastest refueling run that we had during the whole test. And Fireball, myself, and Marvin Pants, we decided to try to do that. And we had a certain spot in the racetrack where Marvin reached, told him not to lift his foot off that gas pedal, put it down on the floor, and we would catch him just before we hit the back stretch, and we were almost already hooked up. So when we did hit the back stretch, we were hooked up, popped him, got him fuel, and he just kept on going. That's how we did the fastest refueling run.
Man, that's crazy. This is the last man standing from that whole project. Last guy. How about that stuff? Living history right here. So you worked the forklift, right?
Yeah, nobody knew how to work that big old sucker. But I worked on heavy equipment a lot back in the day. And I knew exactly what it was, and I knew how to operate it. So I didn't have to move it or anything. It was sitting there right there on that platform. All I had to do was pull one lever, raise the car up high enough to where the driver could get in, change drivers, and put 4 new tires on, and actually refuel it then also. So that's how we did that. And like we said, we ran it for 3 days and nights. And I got some pictures somewhere, but I haven't found them, of that whole shooting match. And when this was all over with, we had our pictures taken. We all had white uniforms, and there I'm standing there. And guess who was the blackest? Me. I got my hands into everything. So, Buz, I think, has got some pictures of it there at the archives.
Yeah, I'll have to get some out for you.
Talk into the mic where they can hear you.
Okay, how's that? Appreciate it. Thank you.
And people are afraid to put their chin up against the mic where everybody can hear us.
Now, who's the professional here, right? What's this?
You are.
Now, how did you get involved with NASCAR? I know you started, well, you actually had a brush with NASCAR around 1948 with Bill Jr. Can you tell that story?
Before 48,
Oh, was it?
in 1946,
Oh, okay.
first race on the beach after the war. We lived at 27 North Grandview, a half a block off of Main Street. I come home from school every day. Behind the Methodist church was a fire station. I used to stop at the fire station, run upstairs, and come down the pole. The chief always chewed my butt out. you're going to get hurt one of these days. I says, yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. So from there, I went over to Bill France Sr. filling station. He was always working on cars, motorcycles. Sammy Packard was there. And I'd get right in the midst of it. And Bill Francis, he finally found out my name. Now, Olin, he says, you've got to stay over there, out of the way. If you do that, I'll let you stay. Otherwise, I'm going to run your butt home. I said, yes, sir. So they wasn't doing much that day. So I went home. And as I was walking up by the Mayflower on Stewart Drive, there's a big tin building on the east side of Grandview, across from Mayflower. And all these cars painted up with numbers on them. And I go home, get up on the porch. My dad was up there watching them. I said, Dad. Oh, I didn't call him Dad. I said, Pop. I said, what's with all those cars? He said, those are race cars. I said, oh man, hey, neat. And they're noisy, loud. I said, wow. He said, now, don't you go over there. You'll get hurt. I said, I can't go over there. He said, no. You stay right here on the porch and watch them. I'm going to go pick up your mother from work. Well, you knew what I did. As soon as he took off, I took off. So I went across the street, and I'm looking and looking. There's race cars, guys working on them, changing oil, doing work on their springs, engine carburetors, changing tires. And inside that tin building, the place was trash everywhere. Oil cans, oil on the floor, papers, boxes. And then I'm in there walking around looking. And this big man come up to me and said, hey boy, what are you doing in here? I said, I'm just looking. He says, you'll get hurt. You can't be in here. I said, oh, come on. I says, who's cleaning up the garage? We ain't got nobody cleaning up. I said, I'll pick up all the trash, put it in the 55-gallon oil drums. I'll try to keep the place clean for the guys I have a place to work. He says, you do that? I said, yes, sir, if you let me stay. He says, okay, I'll let you stay. So I was doing what I told the gentleman I would do. I didn't know the man's name. To this day, I don't know his name. Anyway, lo and behold, who comes walking in? The Bill France Jr. Well, he's about 2 years or 3 years ahead of me in school. I go to Lenox Avenue, he goes to Riverview, and we're enemies right off the bat. And he saw me there, and he says, what are you doing in here? I said, I'm cleaning up the shop. He said, you can't be in here. He says, my daddy runs this outfit. I said, who's your daddy? Bill France. And I said, well, I said, see that big man over there? Yeah. I said, is that your daddy? He says, no. I said, you kiss my ass. He said, I'll whip your ass. I said, you can't catch me. He never did. He never did catch me. And just before he passed away up in Charlotte, I'm standing in line to get my pass to go into the track. And I'm standing there, and Bob Coleman's standing there. I said, Buck Owen, I thought you retired. Why should I? I don't do nothing. They pay me good money. And I said, well, where's your buddy Bill? He says, you're standing behind him. I said, oh shit. He turned around. He grabbed a hold of me. He said, now I got you. I said, it's taken you 60 years to catch me. I said, are you strong enough to whip me? He said, no. I said, okay. So that was that story. But for many, many years, I was watching my back all the time. Because he was a little bit bigger than me. But that's the way that story went.
Good stuff. Hey, what were some of the clubs that they had here in town that you were involved in?
Oh, the street rod clubs. When I came back to Daytona Beach in 1952, and I was messing around down Dunn Lumber, and then I went over by the train station, and there's a bunch of hot rodders there. And I said, hey, that's pretty neat. I said, what are you guys doing? Well, we've got a hot rod club. What's the name of it? Beach Angels. I says, what do you have to be in it? A car? Well, I hadn't got a car yet. But that's where I met my good friend George Pastoria. He's up in Maggie Valley today. He just turned 95 years old. He just got out of the Navy, 11 years, Korea. He had a wife and 2 little baby girls. And we got to be instant friends, and we're still friends to this day. I talk to him at least twice a day. He's in a nurse, assisting living place up there. And he wants out of there so bad, but he's in pretty bad shape. His legs are giving out. He's just waiting for his time. He says he's ready to go. I said, well, pack your suitcase, because I'm not far behind you. I'll catch up. So that's the way that is now.
What kind of car did George have back then?
He had a brand new 1952 Ford 2-door sedan. With their 2 little girls in the back. And when they walked, they looked like ducks. They just waddled.
So what was your first car that you had when you joined the clubs?
Well, my first legal car was a 1946 Ford convertible that looked brand spanking new. I bought it off of Lloyd Buick Cadillac used car lot. That Ford, brand spanking new, was a little over $900.
Oh my gosh.
I think I paid something like almost $800 for it. I saved my bus fare money, all my tip money that I was working at the grocery store, 25 cents. I saved up enough money to put a down payment on it. Went down and talked to old man Lloyd. I had to get him to let me buy it on time. I asked my dad to co-sign. He said, you sure you can pay for it? I said, I'll work my butt off. I want that car. So I bought it. Well, my brother and all his friends, hey man, Olin's got a convertible. Now we can ride down on the beach and pick up the girls. So, first thing we did, they all piled in. We went down on the beach, lowered the top. Hi girls, trying to pick up girls. Yeah, and then my next car about a little over a year, less than a year, there was a 51 Ford Club Coupe sitting on Heinzman's used car lot at 2nd Avenue and Beach Street. And I said, oh. So I wheeled in and got out and looked at it. I said, man, I like this. Because I got the darn convertible top was electric hydraulic. And for some reason, I don't know if it was an electric motor was giving up on it or it was always running out of fluid. And I got caught in the rain a couple of times with the top down. So I had right up to here with the rain and the top it wouldn't work. So Merritt Brown came out, said, hey, Olin, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at this 51 Ford. Yeah. I said, what are you asking for it? And he told me. You know, to this day, I don't remember what I paid for it. I know I traded the old convertible then. He said, well, my brother would love to have your convertible. Oh, so if he wants it that bad, I said, make me a decent deal on this trade, which he did. I drove out there with that 51 Ford, and I put 89,000 miles on that thing. One night coming out of Flagler Beach to Daytona Beach, I had some guys chasing me. Just as I pulled into Holly Hill at 13th Street, the engine let go. And I took it and coasted into the filling station where Jimmy Joe Jarvis was working, was one of the boys I went to school with. And I pulled into the filling station and I said, Jimmy Joe, I said, what do you want for your old Ford? He had a 40 Ford Deluxe coupe. I says, I'll trade you this car for that 40 Ford coupe, even up, because I got to be in West Palm Beach tomorrow morning to go to work. He said, you got a deal. So my title and everything was in the glove compartment. He gave me the keys to that old 40 Ford, and I cranked it up, transferred went home when I lived on 11th Street, Holly Hill, put the suitcase in, my little toolbox, and I headed for West Palm Beach. And I was down there for 6 months to a year. And then we came back up to Daytona Beach. Then I went to work for Old Man Waters here, and went to work down in Cape Canaveral in 1954. And we was down there for 6 months. In 1955, if you all remember, they had a big landslide up at Niagara Falls. Part of the falls on the American side, big hunk of it went down into the river. And they called for electricians, grunts, mechanics to come up to Buffalo and go to work on the falls because they had some damage on the power plant. So I was a German, not a German, a grunt at the time, and working my way up to be a lineman. And I asked the guys, they says, you come up, we'll pay you. You can work all the overtime you guys want, but we demand at least 6 hours sleep a day. So we all dropped our tools, threw them in the back of my trunk. I stopped at the house on the way leaving. All four gentlemen that went with me, none of them have a car. And they're making 3 times as much money as I am. I said, well, I'll drive you all up there, but anything happens to the car on the way up there, you guys pay for it. You buy the gas, you buy tires, whatever the car needs. And you'll buy my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. So we took off for Buffalo, New York. We go along and we took cat naps on the way up. We didn't have a place where you could pull off, sleep like they do today. There's no interstate. So we made it up to Jersey. I'm on the Jersey Pike, and I'm running the speed limit, 60 miles an hour. All of a sudden, this big Chrysler pulls up alongside me, a dark blue bottom, a light blue top, or a gray top, state trooper. He's pointing at me. So I roll my window down. Hey, boy, will that damn piece of junk run any faster? I said, well, I'm going the speed limit. He says, you're going too damn slow. You're tying up traffic. So I slipped it up in second gear and I punched it. And I took off. He pulls up alongside me again. We're doing about 90 miles an hour on the Jersey Pike. He says, I didn't believe that piece of junk would run that fast. He says, keep it there. I said, yes, sir. And so I went on up and got up to around about Amsterdam, my hometown, and take a hard left and go straight across New York State to Buffalo. And we finally get to Buffalo, and we found us a place. We were staying above a bar. He had rooms up there for rent. So the next morning we went down to the Union Hall and showed us our tramp tickets. And he says, I see you're a grunt. You've been a grunt for a couple of years. I said, yes, sir. And so he says, Clyde, he says, is that boy a good grunt? Yes, sir. He's the best one I've had. He said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Being that you came all this distance, I'm going to give you a German card. All right. I said, you are? I said, man, thanks a lot. Because instead of making $6, $7 an hour, I'll be making $12, $13 an hour. Back in 1955, and all the overtime, oh man, I'm going to get rich. And like I said, I lived in Buffalo, New York for 3 years to help my older sister out. She just got married, she was having trouble. So I went by her house to see her and the kids. And I says, hey sis, we had supper. I said, sis, I'm going to go up to Hamburg and see some of my old friends up there. And my brother's friends went to school with him. And so we went up there, and I met some of the boys, and we played baseball together. And then we, Red, one of Jack's good friends, Red and Peninsky, Johnny Peninsky, he stopped off and he says, hey, Olin, look what my dad gave me for my graduation present. I turned around and looked, and there was a brand spanking new 88 Holiday Rocket, two-door coupe. I said, man, what a beautiful, red and white. He said, come on, I'll take you for a ride. This thing is fast. Fast? That's me. So I got in that car. I'm sitting in the middle. Red was driving. His cousin Dudley was sitting on the other side of me. And we go roaring up the street. And we're clipping right along. I said, man, this thing. I'm looking at the speedometer. We're doing 60, 70, 80. And then we got turned around and he got on. He thought he was on Big Tree Road. I haven't been there in a couple of years. And he turned on, he says, Big Tree Road will take us right down to Lake Erie, straight as an arrow. And I'm looking around, I says, I lived on Big Tree Road, up there, right off of St. Francis Drive. And I said, I don't think you're on Big Tree Road. I said, so we go taking off, and he got it up to 100 miles an hour, and it's bouncing between 100 and 110, and this thing is moving. And I says, we went underneath the railroad, the viaduct. I says, Red, you're on the wrong road. Big Tree Road, you go over the viaduct, you don't go under it. And when we went under it, you got about a quarter of a mile, and then you got a real sharp, like an L, right-hand turn. And staring you in the face is a guardrail. 90-foot drop. We went through the guardrail, took out a couple of big oak trees, not oak trees, something like an Australian pine, beautiful trees. We hit them, took the tops out of them. I remember the car, we remember hitting it, and then I felt the car doing this. It did a complete flip, and when we hit the ground, we hit on all four wheels. But let me tell you something. People, there was nothing left of that car. I'm up underneath the instrument panel. I'm looking up, and I said, Red, you okay? Oh, what's my daddy gonna say? I said, your daddy's gonna kill you. I said, Dudley, you okay? Yeah. I said, help me get up. I can only feel one arm. I said, I can't get any leverage to get up. I said, get out of the car. Well, the window was bashed, all cut up. Dudley was all right. They both drunk. I don't drink, so I'm sober. But I couldn't feel my arm or at all. And Dudley, as he was crawling out, caught his butt on the piece of glass and put 52 stitches in his butt, bleeding like a stuff hole. Oh man, I'm hurt. So I finally get out. I don't know how I got out, but I got out. I could not feel my arm. So I crawled, managed to get up. I crawled a little ways and stood up, and I managed to get back up to where we went through the guardrail. And here comes all the other guys following us. And I asked one of them, I said, do you see my arm anywhere? I said, I can't feel it. He said, your arm is in the back of your neck.
Oh my gosh.
And the palm of my hand was where my elbow was. So I'm starting to go into shock now. So the one guy says, hey, there's a doctor that lives just down the road here. Put me in the car, and we took off to the doctor's house. They're banging on the door. Now I'm really hurting now. I'm almost screaming. Anyway, the doctor came to the door. What's the matter? He says, we got a guy out here that's hurt. Really hurt bad. So he went out there and he looked at me. He said, pick him up, bring him into the kitchen. He brought me into the kitchen, and I had a fairly new jacket on. Took his big scissors and cut the jacket off of me, got it off of me. He kept feeling. He says, he ain't got no broken bones. He's all dislocated. He says, you lay across his legs, you lay across his stomach.
Jeez.
He gave me a dish towel, stuck it in my mouth, and he says, is this gonna hurt? I said, I'm already hurting. He says, bite down on it. He says, 1, 2, 3, and he jerked. And everything pop, 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 and all went back in place. And then he says, all right, he said, I'm gonna take you to the hospital. Well, the hospital was full. So the only place they could fix me up, they were wanting to put a cast on me. And we had to go down through where all the ladies were giving birth to babies. And the nurse says, you keep your eyes straight ahead. I said, yes. So we went down, they put me in a cast like this here for 90 days. So I lost out on all that overtime. I didn't make a penny. So Red's father came to see me at the hospital. I spent the night there. He said, Olin, whatever it takes, I'll pay for it. And I said, you gonna help me pay my wages? Oh, I can't do that. The insurance is gonna help pay for all this. Okay, so after that, I got better. I had coat hangers. I was scratching. Finally got it off my stomach here. Finally got it in a regular sling, because I wasn't allowed to move this at all. But I'm still using it as best I can, because this is the side I had the stroke on.
Oh, darn.
So that's how that story went.
Now, you did
Now back to what he asked me at first. How many clubs? I'm sorry I got off on that track. That's just the way my mind's working now. A little slow. I was president of the Beach Angels for a couple of years. We had our meetings at Judy's Restaurant, just a half a block away from the train station. And there was a glass company that did cars. I don't remember the boys' names that had it, but that's where we worked on our hot rods. And then we moved on, went up to 2nd Street in Holly Hill, between Holly Hill and Daytona. And we had a garage that we rented as a club. And we changed our names from the Beach Angels to the Daytona Beach Creepers. And the Creepers was a snail or a turtle. It was a turtle with twin carburetors on his back, with his neck stuck out with a crash helmet on and goggles. That was called the Creepers. And then somewhere around 1959, somewhere around there, Chief Folsom And my buddies that were on the police force says, Olin, you boys have got to get out of town. He says, I said, but we ain't got no place to race. They closed down Flagler. We used to race up there every Sunday at the drag strip. So we raced at Tomoka, Spruce Creek, and we used to go down to Titusville, Cocoa, to the abandoned airport down there. And Spruce Creek, out there in no man's land. So I went to, somebody told me to get hold of Smitty. He was the head of recreation department. So I went and talked to Smitty, the barber. He says, well, you need to talk to old man Islander. He's the man that's in charge of all that. So I went and talked to him, and I told him what I wanted to do as a club. He said, well, I'll let you do that, but you got to show me proof of insurance, and then you got to have first responders. Back then we just called them firemen. And I have to have an ambulance, a fire truck, and the sheriff, because that's in the county. He said, you show me proof of all that. He says, I'll let you use the airport. I said, yes, sir. So I went to the club and told them what it was going to take to do it. Well, we got the insurance. We got the fire department. We got the undertaker people loaned us the ambulance. Then we got some people that qualified to be able to be first aid help or whatever they call them. And anyway, we got all that. I went back to Old Man Islander. By that time, we're already working on the runway. We had pine trees growing out on the runway 3 inches in diameter. We cut them all flush with the asphalt. Then we take a gasoline grinder and grind them down, and then put tar on it. And they had a guy at the asphalt company gave us some kind of a liquid asphalt that we patched over the pine tree holes to get the drag strip ready to run on. And
Were you racing back then?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was racing my 44s and everything.
Oh, were
Then
you?
I built that old Crosley rail
Yeah.
that it was a death trap. I look at it today and I said, I had to be plumb crazy. I still am.
It was bad. It was really bad.
And then Jerry Harpo and I got together and built that rail that set a National B record. We were little 265 Chevy, 2 4-barrels. We did away with the 4 barrels, and we put a tri-power on it. Used 3 fish carburetors. Redid the heads, redid the valves, redid the crankshaft, put a magneto on it. We didn't use a fuel pump. We pressurized our fuel. And Red Boat worked the carburetors. He says, this thing ought to fly. So we got it all together. And we had it at Ray Fox's, where Pappy worked at Fish Carburetor. And they were going through the valves, setting the timing. And I'm in there with them. And they're revving the engine up. It hurts your ears to hear. And Pappy, every time he revved that engine up, big old grin on his face. He said, "It's going to be a bad one. It's going to be a bad one." And I said, "Man, it hurts your ears." It set up such a pitch that one of the glasses in the window cracked.
Wow.
It broke. So he says, "Take it down to the armory and turn it around and come back." I says, "I'll probably get arrested." He said, "No, they ain't gonna bother you. They've already called the cops and they're out there waiting for me." They blocked off Blue Road. I went down past the armory, turned around there by the boatyard, or the shipyard there, and then I sat there and I gunned it and I went, "Jump!" down there. I pulled in, and everybody was out there at the shop, and they said, "Man, you got here early." I said, "All I did was hit the throttle and I was there, and I backed off quick." So from that day on, we went racing. And every racetrack we went to, Jerry and myself, we alternated. We took turns because we were equal partners. And now, the first run was out at Spruce Creek. I was the guinea pig. I says, "Well, you started this." I says, "You take it down for the first run." "I ain't take that thing down for a test run." I said, "What's the matter? You candy?" "No, you take it down." So I got in it. I got comfortable. I said, "I'm just going to floor it. What happens, what happened." I went down through there. We had some kind of timing equipment. I forgot where we got it or how we got it, but we got it. I went through the tracks at 160 miles an hour at 9 seconds.
Whoa.
Back then, that was a record. And I brought it back. Harpo was grinning from ear to ear. He says, "How did it feel?" I says, "It went straight as an arrow." And I says, "It's a blast." So we kept it for 2 years. Jerry was going to college, and he wanted to go back and get his engineering degree, and he didn't want to ask his dad for the money. So I didn't have enough money to buy his half out of the dragster. I just gave him my half. He sold the rest of it. He sold the chassis to T.G. Lee out of Orlando, the milk company man.
I'll be darned.
And he sold the engine to Don Garlick's buddy, Art Malone. Art Malone bought the engine. And we bought an old pickup truck for Harpo to go back to college. And the last time I saw him, he was going down 1792 north. And I lost contact with him for 20-some years. But I still stay in contact with him today. He's out in Arizona. He got rid of his rails. He got rid of his motorcycles. He's got 2 roadsters, and that's what he plays with today.
Would you take a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Hey, anybody got a question for Olin? I'm sure most of it will be true. Yes, sir.
Did you build the dragster, the frame, the chassis from the ground up? The club built that?
Did the club build the chassis from the ground up, or did you build
No.
it?
Jerry and I built the chassis out of 1-inch square tubing.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
and after we got it all built, we put it in an oven and cooked it. Got it red hot, then let it naturally cool off. Never had anything break on it. Never found any cracks on it after all the runs we did with it. and also ran against Don Garlish with it one time down in Miami at the Marine base. And he beat us by 1/100th of a second.
I'll be darned. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I believe you had a question?
Yeah, Olin told us about his first legal car.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about his first illegal car.
Yeah, what about your first illegal car?
Well, most of you people wasn't even in the Daytona Beach when I got this. I got this car. It was a 1935 Austin Bantam.
Cool.
A little bitty car. Little 4-cylinder, aluminum. Transmission no bigger than this. Universal joints are made out of tires.
Really?
And I bought I bought it on my paper route. I delivered papers to this man, and he had the head off of it because he had some trouble with a blown head gasket. I asked him I wanted to buy it. He said, "What do you want it for?" I says, "To help me deliver my papers, because Sunday papers here back in the day was that thick. And I had close to 300 customers. Took me all day to deliver them. I had some roads off 11th Street, past Nova Road or Canal Road, was sugar sand. You had to walk your bike.
Oh, man.
And my dad used to help me on Sunday to deliver papers. So I got this car. I gave the man a free paper for 1 year for the car.
Jeez, no kidding.
And he said, "You do that, the car's yours." Hey, I didn't have a driver's license. I wasn't old enough to have a driver's license. I went to the chief of police and told him what I was doing. He said, "Can you drive it?" I said, "Oh, yeah." "Let me see you drive it." So I drove it. "Let me see you back up. You see your hand signals." I gave my hand signals. He said, "All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Being that you're all out here with nothing around you." He says, "You can drive it, but you can't drive it to school, and you can't drive it unless you're delivering papers. If I catch you driving it, I'll take it away from you. Permanent." I said, "You got a deal." So that's what happened to my first car. I don't even know where it's at. So once I got that convertible, it went by the wayside, and I don't know where it went.
Yeah. Now, at any one time, how many 40 Fords did you own? You had a bunch of them at one
Yes,
time.
I did. I had a total of five 40 Ford Coupes.
Oh,
3 of them were deluxe, 2 of them were standards. My brother had a 39 4-door. This was all in our backyard. And Henry Garris had a 47 Mercury Coupe and a 48 4-door sedan. And my mother says, "Olin, yeah, Mom. See them cars in the backyard?" I said, "Yeah. They gotta be out of here by the weekend. The junk man's coming." I said, "What?" She says, "They're going to the junkyard. I've already called them." So I had to find a place to put these cars. I called Henry. Henry found a place for his. Jack kept his. I kept 144 at the house. That's the one I put that small block Chevrolet in, but that I bought off of Smokey Uni. The other 4 went to Cone's Dairy. And we put it in his hay barn. And Ernest asked his dad if I could keep him there. "Yeah, if I got room, you can keep him there." Kept the lock on the barn. One day, Ernest needed something for his 40 Ford pickup truck. So he opened up the barn, went in there to see if he could find the part that he needed off one of them 40 Ford coupes. And Ernest and I used to hang around a lot at night. So I went to pick him up, and he says, Olin, didn't you have 4 of them in the barn? I said, yeah. He says, there's only 3 in there. I says, what? He said, did you come and get one? I says, no. So I went and looked. Sure enough, there was only 3 of them in there. So we started looking around to see if we could find it. We ran it down to who we thought who had it, but he swears up and down it was his dad's, and he repainted it. He made a race car out of it, dirt track car, because that's what they did. And Jack Cook drove it. Old Man Johnson and Bobby Johnson. I accused him of stealing the car. I says, that's my car. I says, no, it ain't. That's my car. You took it off of Ernest Cohn's farm over there, because he just lived around the block. He said, you got a title to it? No. I says, guess what? I got one right here. I says, that's my car. Well, old man Johnson, he was willing to pay me for it. And I told him what I was doing. I would like to go into racing. He had a lot of knowledge, because he loved racing. Jack Cook was a good race driver, which just passed away, what?
A couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
93?
95.
95 years old.
Yep.
He drove my other race car when Rick and I had race cars together. And anyway, water over the dam, I went on. I took the other, to be honest with you, after a while, I lost track of all of them.
Oh, man.
I kept the one for a long time, and I ended up trading it to Jimmy Joe Jarvis for that. I traded it for something. Anyway, that's the way it went.
Yep. Now, you worked for Ray Fox,
I worked for Ray Fox for 6.5 years,
and you had a chance to go to work for Smokey, right?
Many a times.
And what did you tell Smokey?
Smokey kept saying, why don't you come and work for me? I said, Smokey, no. Well, I got a better shot than he has. I said, you might have. And he just kept after me and after me. One day he just says, grabbed me and he says, when are you coming to work for me? I said, I'm not coming to work for you. I says, I'm working for a son of a bitch, and I don't need to come work for another one. I says, let's you and I just stay friends. And with that crazy big cowboy hat and his cigar, he gave me that eagle look. And then he got a grin on his face. He knew what I was talking about. He said, okay, Olin, we'll just stay friends. Because he was just as hard-nosed as anybody, and Ray Fox was the same way. One minute, you couldn't ask for a better person to work for. The next minute, he's down your throat with a pitchfork, wanting to kill you. And I just told him flat out. I said, no, I'm working for one. I don't need to come work for another one.
We have any more questions? Anybody got a question? No?
Watch it, the tide's fixing to come in.
Yeah, what you got, Pat?
Stu posted some pictures on Facebook. I don't know if y'all saw them or not, of young Olin.
Oh, boy.
What?
Pictures of him
Stu, we put some pictures on Facebook for you. Very cool. It's on Facebook?
Let me talk to Rick.
Oh, okay, sure. That's neat.
They're great, great photos. If you haven't seen them, check out the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture of the dragster with the white wall slicks
Oh boy.
and the full moon discs on the back.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's taking a little bit of speed. So check it out if you haven't so far.
That's cool. Yeah.
May I have your attention for a few minutes? Mr. Finzer,
What?
could you come up here and tell us about your 44 two-door, four-door sedan?
No. Don't remember that far back.
You used to have trouble starting it all the time.
Yeah.
What was the problem?
Don't remember all.
Rick says, Olin, come here. That damn Ford won't start again. I said, well, you just don't know how to talk to it. So I went out there. I says, get in there and try to start. Oh,
Wheel cams.
the battery's dead. I said, no, it's not. So I'd get in it.
Oh, there we go.
I'd tag it on the instrument panel. I says, okay, baby, start. I hit that starter up. Damn thing started up. He got so mad at it. The UPS man came by. Says, that thing for sale? Rick says, you damn right it is. And he sold it right there. He got so mad at it because every time he couldn't start that damn thing, I'd get in it and hit it, and it'd start every time. He got so mad at it, he wanted to shoot it.
Hey, there's your rail right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Boy, that's something. That was a beautiful car.
And that car sitting there in the background,
Yeah.
oh, with the front end up in the air,
Mm-hmm.
that was Art Malone.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
I'll be darned. Well, that's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
There's another one in there too. Hold on, I'm scooting by.
Okay. Oh, no, look at this
Oh,
guy.
look at that guy.
Is that your high school prom picture?
How do you have his high school picture?
It might have been
How
my
do you
wedding
have his
picture.
high school picture?
Yeah, there you go.
I took
You
some
have
girls to
everything.
that prom.
Stu has everything, you better watch out.
Yeah, really.
Here, what about this one?
Oh,
Olin?
that's the one that
What about that
I'd
one?
be afraid to go down to the store to get a gallon of milk in this thing.
Oh, that's the Crosley frame.
Oh, the Crossley.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the death trap.
Oh, yes.
And I used to ride that at 135 miles an hour.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I see it's got a big trophy, a couple of trophies in front of it.
Well, that was midnight drags, and midnight drags at Flagler with Ed Otto was in charge,
Your buddy.
and they had these two big monster trophies for the top eliminators, and the top eliminator for the whole week. And I ran across one of these out at Pick and Save.
You're kidding.
Yep, and he wouldn't let go of them.
Oh man.
He found them in a garage. Yeah, that was Beach Angels.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Beach Angels.
Okay.
Flagler. Flagler Beach.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, Olin?
Hey, here we go. What do you got?
We got two big old birthday cakes back there for you. In case y'all didn't eat enough, we got two big birthday cakes. It's too heavy to bring up.
Oh, it is.
I'm gonna try not to burn the place down, but we want to sing happy birthday to him.
You gonna give me a big candle?
I don't know. Oh, there,
There
we
we
go.
go.
We got one candle we found.
All
So
right.
can we sing happy birthday to
All right.
Olin?
On the count of three. 3. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Olin. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Here, blow out the one candle. And can we ask your daughter to make the first cut in your cake?
Sure. Rudy, will
Rudy,
you
will you go
cut
make a first
the
cut in
birthday
the
cake
cake?
for me, please?
Will you go make a first cut in his birthday cake?
Yeah. Well, we sure do thank you all for being here today, and you got live a little history.
Hey.
And there's still more to come. Huh? Oh, okay.
I want to thank every one of you who is here. You have made my day. And I'll try to be here for a few more years. Just to aggravate you.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, and by the way, if you're all interested in racing, show up at the North Turn on Friday at noontime
There you
and
go.
listen to our radio show. We've been on the air now for almost 6 years. How many shows?
No, actually, 7.5.
7.5 years,
380 shows.
380 shows, and I go every time I can possibly get there.
Yep.
And I've been on the show as a guest speaker at least 4 times
Yep.
or more.
And he's never said the same thing twice.
Nope.
There was a gentleman there as a speaker, a guest speaker, one time, and he was talking about his heroes. And this gentleman writes books for Drag News and everything like that. What was his name?
I forget.
Anyway, he says, everybody's got a hero. He says, I've got a hero, and he's in this room right today. And we're all sitting there listening and wondering who the hero was. He says, my hero is Olin Hopes. And I almost fell off the chair.
Well, you built a motor for him, didn't you?
Back in the day, I must have.
Yep.
I think he did say he did.
Yep.
And we've had a number of guests that have done very well in racing. I have built engines for them when they were going to school.
Mm.
And they remember it, and I don't remember it. So I've got a lot of engines behind me.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Oh, we got a piece of cake for you over here.
Hmm?
Piece of cake coming for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What kind of cake is it?
We got vanilla and we got chocolate. What do you like?
I ordered chocolate.
You want a chocolate? All right.
Yeah, right.
Dog cook?
I'll
It's
give the
supposed to
vanilla
be
a
a,
buzz.
supposed to be a German chocolate.
A German chocolate.
That's what she said she was going to make.
It says
Also, the German chocolate might show up at the meeting in November.
Okay, all right. Maybe that's what it is. Just bring me another
Yeah, I need a
piece.
chocolate.
Just a small piece.
A small piece.
A small piece.
Okay.
integrated drag racing.
Everybody, please show this
Really?
Composed of Fred Stone, Leonard Woods,
Wow.
and
Put a
Doug
plug for this table here.
What's that?
Put a plug in for our North Turn racing team.
Okay, we got a North Turn racing team here. We've got Mike and Danny. Danny's the board operator,
Why don't you all stand up?
and Mike's the big cheese. And we've got Tony and Mr. Hines there. Yeah. Go on. Oh, you're not going to stand?
Come on, stand up.
Come on.
Yay.
Hey, go on.
And
And we've
Mr.
got-
Rich.
And Rich. Rich is our co-host too.
Yes,
Our
he's our
sometime
co-host.
And that's our little family. And we have a grand old time down there every Friday. So we hope you'll come.
It's
and
just
see
an
us.
hour show, people.
Yeah, you can do anything for an hour, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Exactly. Well,
So-
this has been great.
So do you
Here.
used to build engines for Doug?
Talk to it.
That's a different
Okay, I'm
word.
talking to
That's a
it.
different.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
all
we'll go
for
different
coming.
woods.
Please get cake.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday to Olin.
Hey.
We'll do it again at the
When you
November
said you had
16th.
many
Woodward was
engines
just-
We wanted
behind
to
you,
invite everybody to
No
bring
way.
their
That's the
friends
same
and
thing George
relatives
Custer
here
said.
for this
So,
one.
Yeah.
And for club
Right?
members,
talking about.
November
See you
6th,
Friday.
That's
big
right, yeah.
meeting,
Yes.
be there,
That's right,
Ruby
yeah.
Square, and there will be cake and ice
No.
cream. So,
I don't
thank
think so.
y'all. And thank you to
Because they were consistent.
Greg set up,
Records.
Oh,
pulled
yeah.
out all
Oh,
the
yeah.
cards and everything.
Yeah,
And Sherry and
Leonard was tied
Andrea
up with
and
the
that whole
NASCAR
crew
team.
for the
He
food.
wouldn't have time to do the outside
John
work.
Morehouse for the
Because I
potatoes.
looked at this, I was
Uh, Greg
knew Leonard Woods was in.
was in charge of bacon.
Now, I knew Richard Petty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
Oh, Don
Raced
and
that
Sean Moore and Greg did the
64,
bacon,
65
so
Barracuda.
Yeah,
quite the posse we had going.
pretty neat.
So thank y'all very much for being here.
Yay!
And hopefully this will be on YouTube. I'll let the
Yeah.
club know.
That's pretty good.
That's
That this
very-
interview will be
I mean,
on
very
YouTube.
famous car.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Was that good?
That car is
Yeah.
probably in Carlin's
Did you have fun?
Oh, really? I'll be
Yeah.
darned.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I
Oh, that's
got
great.
the one.
Yeah, he's got everything up there.
Yeah.
Sure does.
You're the best.
Got a
You're-
last-
so
well,
this
I
will
haven't
be.
been there in years.
Hi, I'm turning you off.